GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, Dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered.
And that's MVS and Justin Watson.
With some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues.
If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up.
Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow,
Comma, semicolon, period, next sentence.
to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man Jay Rich.
Yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up with Ray
And Jay.
in the morning.
My God.
How good is
Dude.
he? How good is he? Jay Rich, we them boys, baby. We them boys, baby. How about them? How about them damn Cowboys? I told you, and I told you, and I told you, and I told you in the damn chat, we're back. The defense is fixed. The offense is prolific. The team is coming along, and yes, we might be 5-5, but Jay Rich, how about them damn Cowboys, baby? How about them? I told you, Adam Zaff in the chat, we didn't even come to an agreement, but I just want you to know that I know that you owe the bet today. I just want you to know that I know that you owe the bet today because they put foot down 21-0, Jay Rich. 21-0 against all, gotta have it, against all odds throws by Dak Prescott all day long. You talk about a wide receiver 1 and 88, we got two of them. Because GP is that dog, right? Defensively, Quinn Williams, and you laughed at Siobhan Revel all day on Friday, Jay Rich, but we shut it down. When it mattered most, they got it done. How about them Cowboys? What y'all got to say? What y'all got to say? What they got to say, Jay Rich? I see y'all in the building. I see y'all in the building. GMG, Dan P. Not only did the boys get it done, Jay Rich. Hold it up.
Ooh,
Hold it up.
the wrist.
Hold it up, you damn haters, and that buster-ass head coach, Kevin Stefanski. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but yeah, it was Shedeur time. Big dub by the Browns on the road in Las Vegas. Dallas Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs come back as the coach tried to protect Daniel Jones, didn't want him to throw the damn football. Jay Rich, we got a lot to talk about. Marvin Harrison Jr. needs to take a back seat. We'll talk about Michael Wilson.
Ooh,
the best damn running back in football wears number 0 in Detroit. And what the hell is going on with your boy Lamar Jackson? Jay Rich, how you doing this morning, baby?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yes, both of us picked the Cowboys, and it was looking real shaky early on.
Never a doubt.
And remember,
Never
I told
a doubt.
you, Jalen Hurts can have a big game. Jalen Hurts did have a big game, but it wasn't enough, right? Wasn't enough.
Was not enough. How about him?
Massive
How
second
about
half
him?
performance from multiple teams this week, but the Cowboys got it done. My Patriots survived in Cincinnati, so I was very happy about that after a shaky performance from Drake May and a big loss on the O-line. But very excited, my friend. Let's talk about your boy Shedeur Sanders, big win, and much, much more. So
Yes,
where
sir.
do you want to start? I imagine you want to start with your Dallas Cowboys.
We
But
gotta
let me know.
take it. We gotta take some time here, Jay Rich. There's no need to rush. It's Thanksgiving break. You got you a cup of coffee. I'm feeling good. We're going to take our time. We're going to massage this thing first. We ain't going to dive right in, baby. We're going to massage this thing. We're going to talk about it. We're going to slow play it, and we're going to get to it. So we got to start off with content that people may have missed. Thank y'all for being in the building. GMGP. I got to hit that. It is Monday, November 24th. 2025 is Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday. This week, content a little different because of the holiday, right? So I'll be traveling on Wednesday. We will do a show on Wednesday, but there won't be a show on Friday. And then Jay Rich, fortunately, unfortunately, we'll see how it works out. The week following Thanksgiving, that's wifey and I's anniversary. So we celebrate 9 years of holy matrimony right after the break. So the following week, I'll be out Monday and Wednesday, but y'all know vacation doesn't keep old GQ away from his show. So I don't know if I'll be poolside. I don't know if I'll be on a hammock, but we will still have the show on Monday. And on Wednesday of next week, I'll just Lepore set up, maybe Wi-Fi might be a little shoddy, Jay Rich. The background may have a little something in the background, but we will be here after the break. But there will be no show this Friday. No show this Friday. Take a break, enjoy time with the family, watch football, all that other good stuff. So we're going to give y'all a nice show today, give y'all a dope show on Wednesday, and then there will be content that I post on my own on the channel to just kind of keep it going, keep things status quo. We've been doing a good job of posting that content up there. And if you missed, Jordan Reed dropped his top 50 big board on Friday, and I took a look at it. There are a lot of players in this class that people are excited about, don't know what to do about. Got one of the best draft experts in the game, dropped his top 50 big board, so I reviewed it. I didn't go through every single pick because I respect Jay Reed, right? I respect Reed. Hey, stop being cheap. Go pay this. First of all, at this point, I know you got the subscription to ESPN because you can't watch shit without having a million different subs. So go check out his work, but check out the video that's on this channel. It was posted on Friday talking all things 2026 NFL draft, Jay, but we do have some injuries that we need to hit on before we get to the games and the players and the performances. Go ahead and do that while I get this ticker set up.
Yeah, so the big one that we're all kind of waiting to see what happens with him is Baker Mayfield in Sunday Night Football against the Rams. It wasn't really a contact injury. It seemed like it got progressively worse throughout the game. And then,
wasn't nothing hurt but Baker's pride. Ain't shit hurt on Baker Mayfield. He was holding that shoulder, starting in the second quarter. Like that, though? Every bad pass, he was doing this. It wasn't nothing hurt but his pride. It was
hurting him. It was progressive. It got worse and worse on the Hail Mary. He ultimately fell to the ground, and it was really bothering him. He didn't come out for the second half. Now,
ill-advised Hail Mary at that. Ill-advised and awful. Awful Hail Mary throw.
Well, I mean, you saw him holding his shoulder, so clearly something was wrong. So Baker Mayfield, his status for this week is definitely within question, depending on how that shoulder looks coming out of this week. People think it could be an AC joint sprain, could be different things. The worst part, or the best part, sorry, is it's not on the throwing arm, but we'll still see what his status is because even Aaron Rodgers didn't play this week either. T. Higgins, concussion. Did not look good on the field.
Did not.
Wasn't even moving after he fell and was concussed. So I would not be surprised if he missed this week, but we'll see what his status is going to be. Rashee Rice dealing with a hamstring injury throughout the game. Did play throughout the injury, but definitely was hobbled a little bit. Not really concerned about him. They know they got to play. They know they got to win. So against Dallas on Thanksgiving, they're probably going to play. Puka Nacua, MCL injury. He was in and out as well. Alvin Kamara, not that it really matters for a lot of people. He's dealing with an MCL injury right now. Jeanty had an ankle injury, but he did play through that as well. Joe Flacco has a right finger dislocation. DK Metcalf potentially has a high ankle sprain, but did kind of work through that as well. We'll see what his status is post-game and kind of throughout the week. Jacoby Brissett on his injury, once again, in and out. And then Michael Mayer also dealing with an ankle injury. And then depending on if you care, Will Campbell's status going forward is definitely in question after he was carted off, and that is going to be a big loss for Drake May if he's out for the season. Ray, my prediction of Drake May being next Justin Herbert is going just about as planned right now.
We absolutely
including
care.
The O-line injuries.
We absolutely care if Will Campbell is out. That was a hard-fought victory by the New England Patriots, down to the wire. A lot of pick sixes in that game, and I do think, and we may, I didn't have them on the docket today, but we may touch on it. I think we know who the front runner for NFL MVP is right now, and we'll talk about the Rams a little later in the show. Wasn't Drake May's best game, wasn't his worst game, but it wasn't his best game either. But yeah, without Will Campbell, I absolutely think that impacts this team and what they'll be able to do ultimately. But let's see. Let's let the injury report come out. Let's see what the actual diagnosis is, what the injury is, how long he'll be out. But getting carted off the field, seeing 6'6" getting carted off the field, not what you want to see. Not what you want to see as a fan of that team, fan of Drake May, fantasy football, that you don't want to see 6'6" getting carted off. The offensive line was already a little bit shaky, Jay Rich. But yeah, let's get to it. There was a Sunday Night Football game that wasn't a game. My God, Teddy Bridgewater. Woof. Just.
Yo, give Teddy some love, man. He's back in the league.
Dude,
he's doing
when Teddy threw that pass underhanded and it almost got interception, he even laughed because he knew that was some bullshit. That was an awful decision by Bridgewater. He looked, there was a reason why he was coaching at Northwest Miami last year. There was a reason why he was doing some coaching and not playing. They are up Schitt's Creek without a paddle if Baker Mayfield wants to act like he's injured, because that was not good. We will talk about that in a little bit, Jay Rich, but we kick this thing off with the Eagles versus the Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, as predicted by this show. I mean, we not tell people that we were picking the Dallas Cowboys to win this game? 21-24 victory, 24-21 victory at home over the Philadelphia Eagles. Jay Rich, Dak Prescott, 354.
A little delay there.
George Pickens, 9 for 146 and 1. Jake Ferd getting it done, right? Running through defenders down there, 5 for 60. CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 75. Javonte Williams didn't have a big game, didn't score the multi-touchdowns like week 1, but did enough to keep the offense on schedule. 20 carries, 87 yards. On the other side of the ball, Jalen Hurts, 289. 1 touchdown, no interceptions, only sacked 1 time between these two quarterbacks. Only 2 sacks given up in the entire game. And Dallas didn't sack Jalen Hurts the last 3 minutes of the game. So it wasn't like there was a consistent, steady barrage of pressure all day. Jalen Hurts, this is the problem, Jay. It is a problem. Leading rusher, 7 carries, 33 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley. I mean, he even admitted to him he admitted to the media after the game himself, like he has not been good. He's been a non-factor in this offense, and he was absolutely a non-factor on the ground in this game. From the receiving standpoint, A.J. Brown got it done. A.J. Brown looked back, 8 for 110 and a touchdown. A.J. Brown looked good, especially that first half.
Should have had 2, though.
Should have had 2.
He's too worried about scoring touchdowns, not about catching the ball, Ray?
Hey, that's on A.J. Devontae Smith didn't do a lot in the first half. Second half, he got it going, and then Barkley did save the day. 7 catches, 52 yards. That's been a saving grace this season, some of those dump-off passes from Jalen Hurts. Jay Rich, talk about this game, man. Dallas was down in this one. Big comeback for Big D, man.
Yeah, this is a great game from Dallas, and this is where I think when you talk about Philly, it reminds me a lot of what we saw from them at times last season, and especially in 2023. This is a team that dominates in the first half very frequently in games, and then to get shut out in the second half, not to say it was surprising, because that's kind of what happened in the opener as well, right? Even this season. But again, another very close game. It was 24-20 the first go-around, 24-21 this go-around. Dak Prescott was great once again. We talked about it and why we thought Dallas could win, because they could put up enough points to ultimately win the game. And Philly, even though they started hot, playing very, very well, they just couldn't get anything going in the second half. I don't know if it was the adjustments made by Eberflus in the second half, or it was just Jalen Hurts struggling to find open receivers. Obviously, they had no ground game. This is a team that, much like Seattle, kind of takes their foot off the gas at times rather than trying to go for the kill shot. And we've seen that over the years with this Philadelphia team. Dallas, on the other hand, needed to play comeback, and they ultimately came back and won the football game. I thought they played a great game. Leaning on George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb didn't have his best game, but it didn't really hurt them because they had George Pickens. And then Jake Ferguson, Javonte Williams still had 100 yards on the ground and through the air combined. I just think this team is ready to go on a run, but I think it sucks for them now, Ray, because they do have to play Kansas City coming off their big victory. So it's a big game on Thanksgiving in the primetime slot for both teams. It'll be interesting to see how that one shakes out.
No concern. Not concerned about Kansas City. Let's talk about A.J. Brown. Do you feel better about A.J. Brown now? Do you feel better about A.J. Brown moving forward? Listen, he may not be the A.J. Brown of Tennessee. He may not be the A.J. Brown of 2021, right? He may not be the same caliber of player, but this dude still needs to be a big part of the offense. Like, come on, man. A.J. Brown still has to be a focal point of this offense. As good as the Slim Reaper is, he does too. Like, these guys should be 1A, 1B in the offense. There shouldn't be a week where A.J. Brown nor Devontae Smith are getting 8 targets apiece, minimum.
Yeah, they got to. They're both far too talented, and especially on an offense that is so limited. Like, why aren't you just giving these guys more opportunities? Like, even the fade route to Devontae Smith, you could see the talent on full display. Like, this is the guy that won the Heisman Trophy, for heaven's sake.
He's
catch. So good. And then you still have A.J. Brown on the other side who can make defenders miss in open space. Great against man coverage. Great after the catch. Now, not so much anymore, but still a great player overall. Like, the problem for me with Petula is that they can't get the ground game going. Okay, that's fine. But he doesn't want to lean on Jalen Hurts. And I just, question to you, Ray, do you think this offense can lean on Jalen Hurts and outscore teams? Because it seems like they're still trying to stay balanced. They're still trying to go after the run. But I think if they just committed to the passing game and say, this is our best chance, you do have to run the ball.
They got to figure out what's going on with the offense, with the rushing attack. They asked the offensive lineman after the game, like, what's going on with the ground game? And I believe 74. I think his last name is Johnson. I think his last name was Johnson.
Lane Johnson?
He was like, I don't know. Ask Petula. Ask the OC. I'm not the coach. That's what he said.
Like, that's a dysfunctional team, right? Like,
this was a bad loss.
Where do
by
they
Philly.
say that, right? You say that in
bad loss by
Cincinnati.
Philly.
You say that in Philly. Like, I don't think I'm not going to go as far as say it's a bad loss.
It was a bad loss.
But they should have lost to the Rams too.
You're up 21-0 on the road. You're number one in the NFC
that's
conference,
fair. That's fair.
Jay Rich.
Circumstantially, yeah.
And then you give up 24 unanswered points.
The fashion in which they lost is definitely bad.
That's a bad loss,
in which they lost. But
that to me, that's not a Super Bowl caliber team. You give up 24 unanswered. 24?
Yeah.
I consider that a pretty bad loss, Jay Rich. But the biggest development out of this game is not the fact that the Dallas Cowboys beat Philly, because I already told you on Friday this was going to happen. Jay Rich and I told you on Thursday this was going to happen. If you pull up and you check out the Bleacher Report show, which you all should be subscribed to us over on the Bleacher Report app, show some love, support the work that we do. We told you this was going to happen. We told you Dallas was going to beat Philadelphia this week. But the big development coming out of this game, Jay Rich, is the pass catchers. You know, you hinted on it. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. There was a play as Dallas was driving down the field for the game-winning field goal. It's third down. It's third down, and the Cowboys have to have it, Jay Rich. This is a gotta-have-it situation. They line Pickens up on the right side of Dak Prescott in that X position. They run a slant. They hit George Pickens. Not only does Pickens catch the ball, Jay Rich, he rips off, 30-something yards after the catch. Puts them in prime field goal position. You know it's automatic with Brandon Aubrey there. But it was the decision to go to Pickens, Jay Rich. Okay. The decision to target number 3, not number 88, who had multiple drops in this game, dropped a touchdown dime from Dak Prescott, then got up and proceeded to complain about the placement of the pass, which hit him right in between the 8 and the 8. You got to catch that, CeeDee Lamb. But it was Dallas's intentional decision to go away from CeeDee and target GP in that spot. CeeDee Lamb has 75 yards on the game. 48 of them came on one play. And it was an amazing catch by CeeDee, because we know CeeDee can make the spectacular, and he makes the easy look incredibly difficult. Great play, but this was all George Pickens here. This is the dude, George Pickens right now, Jay Rich, man. I talked about him and Rome Odunze more than any other player coming into this season, and he's far exceeded the expectations. He's second in the league in damn receiving yards, Jay Rich. Second in the NFL. He's got more receiving yards right now by himself than the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers have combined, Jay Rich. I'm going to say that again. Pickens has more receiving yards by himself than the Pittsburgh Steelers do as a collective unit for the entire 2025 season. He's already over 1,000. This dude is going to command. I don't care what Dallas says they can pay. If I'm Pickens, I want top 5 receiver money. I want to ask you, is there a changing of the guard? Here's where I land on it. They're both top 10 receivers. I'm not going to say it's all Pickens now. I'm not going to do that. I think CeeDee Lamb's incredibly talented. Everybody knows that. Come on, man. He had 1,800 yards a few years ago. We know CeeDee Lamb's an all-pro caliber player. I think they have 2 top 10 wide receivers in the NFL right now, and it's almost damned if you do, damned if you don't. But nobody has done more for their individual value this season, maybe outside of Myles Garrett, who already looks like he can get a raise right now. He probably needs another raise for how well he's playing, than what George Pickens has done for Dallas this season, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because this is something that from the moment he was traded, you were all over, right? You broke it down perfectly with the true media numbers, with CeeDee Lamb and how they can all operate together. And it's playing out even better than you expected, which is insane, because as much as we love Dak Prescott and we knew that he could support multiple pass catchers because we've seen it in this offense countless times, I had my reservations about Schottenheimer as an OC, but really, much like we talk about in the case of Baker Mayfield and other quarterbacks around the league, it doesn't really matter who the OC is. They're going to play their brand of football and they're going to find success the way they find success in the NFL. But George Pickens is still doing something that we did not expect, right?
Not this.
And now we're wondering is, how high can he go? And then you get to the point of, okay, George, you've been great, but how do we feel about him potentially being priced out of returning to Dallas now? Because he's on a pace where he could be not the highest paid receiver in football, because that's probably not going to happen. But he's probably going to push for 130 to 140 million, right? Like that's probably the range. I would have said he was probably around 100 million, maybe 115 player, kind of coming in, depending on how he played. If he had that 1,000-yard season, if he goes to 1,400, he can get to 8, 10 touchdowns. I don't know what he's at for touchdowns right now. He could be right in that range of just below where Jefferson is, but well above where DK is and well above some of these other players are. Like, he's going to push for that kind of money, and he may be priced out of Dallas, but the best situation for him is in Dallas.
It's in Dallas.
Right? It's in Dallas 100%. So I hope he stays. But no matter where he goes, he's going to get paid because he's absolutely balling out right now.
He's 8th in the league in receptions with 67, 2nd in yards with 1054, and 3rd in touchdowns with 8. That's how good he's been.
Okay.
And
so he's going to be.
I mean, there were people, Jay Rich, coming into the season who said this dude will never cut it, right? The best he'll ever be is what he was in Pittsburgh. I see Brooks in the chat. I did not think he'd be this good. But I was all, you can't honestly watch this show and be like, Ray wasn't on Pickens at the beginning of the season. Like, stop. Get the F out of here with that. I've been talking about Pickens all damn summer. I thought he'd be a great number 2 to CeeDee Lamb. But again, what did I just say? He's far exceeded our expectations. I mean, far. I didn't envision, Jay Rich, you didn't envision CeeDee Lamb, playing to the degree that he's played, being injured for multiple portions of the season. Like, nobody foresaw that. So for him to elevate his play, I mean, hell yeah, I'm gonna lap that. You goddamn right I am. And that's where we've been and what we've said here on this show about George Pickens. And if that don't do it, go check that Underdog Exposure. Money talks, bullshit walks. One of my highest roster players across the board, Jay Rich. So what do you think, though? 1A, 1B, Pickens the one the rest of the season? Like, how does this play out?
I think it's interesting, right? Because there's definitely a world where it's a bit closer to a 1A, 1B than I think we even realized. I think we all expected CeeDee to still kind of be the one. If CeeDee is getting 150 targets, I think we put George Pickens at 120. Like, there would have been a bit of a gap come the end of the season, and we'd still view CeeDee Lamb as the number 1 target, the third down option, the go-get-it type of player. But it does seem like they're moving off of that a little bit. That slant that George Pickens ran was on Quinyon Mitchell, right? It wasn't like Quinyon Mitchell was on the number 1 wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb or playing on another player and they went to the better option. They went at their best corner. And granted, he was open because there was a bit of contact from the safety or nickel corner on that play. They still went to their favorite receiver, their best receiver who was playing the best in that game against the opposing defense's top corner. Right, so that says a lot about the confidence they have in Pickens, his ability to kind of play going forward. I hope he stays in Dallas. We've talked about this for multiple weeks now, but another fantastic performance from Pickens and a big win for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's just outplaying Pickens right now.
Yeah, and Luke said it. CeeDee, that's why I'm not really concerned long-term with CeeDee. He still led the team in targets. He had his opportunities. He's got to make the play, man. CeeDee catches that touchdown. Now you're talking about just off of that 5 for 80-something and a touchdown, right? If he comes down with an easy crosser right to his chest off his hands, he's over 100 yards. So this is a situation where I think you've got 2 number 1s. I think you've got 2 top 10 wide receivers. We didn't see it coming to this degree, not to this degree, but Jay Rich, you got to pay him. I don't know how
you got to pay him.
You got to pay him. Figure it out. You didn't pay Micah. Figure it out. It's looking like the damn Cincinnati Bengals situation of the damn NFC East. Here we go.
And David Mulligetta is his agent too, which is so fun for Jerry.
Buckle up, Cowboys Nation. It's going to be a long, long offseason when it comes to that, Jay Rich. But we've got to talk about the most discussed start of the season for a young rookie quarterback, Jay Rich. The Cleveland Browns beat the Las Vegas Raiders 24-10. And quarterback Shedeur Sanders, 5th-round pick out of Colorado, got his first career win. He was 11 for 20, 209 yards, 10.5 an attempt, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only sacked 1 time in the game. QBR of an 8.7. Jay Rich, 8.7 QBR. Other side of the ball, Geno Smith, 30 for 44, 285, 1 touchdown, sacked not 1, not 2, Not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 times, Jay Rich. Not even 9 sacks for Jeanty. 10. 10 damn
That is unreal.
sacks. Wow. Wow.
That is unbelievable. 10 sacks, even for as good as Myles Garrett is. Like, the rest of the D-line also got after it.
Everybody
10
got
sacks.
Everybody took a turn.
Ridiculous.
Everybody got a turn at Geno Smith. Geno Smith got passed around more than a streetwalker at a truck stop at 2 a.m. Absolutely passed around, Jay Rich, by the Cleveland Browns. Quinshon Judkins, 2 vulture touchdowns. Should have been Shedeur touchdowns, but hey, run the Wildcat, punch it in with Quinshon Judkins. Dylan Sampson had a big play in the receiving game, scored a touchdown on a long catch. And then Harold Fannin kind of, 4 for 40. He didn't bust for you, but you wanted a little bit more. But hey, 4 for 40 for Fannin. You get your 8 points and you call it a day. Other side of the ball, Ashton Jeanty still struggled to run the ball on the ground, 2.9 in attempt. Their offensive line is dreadful. But he turned into Christian McCaffrey. 8 catches, 58 yards, and 1 touchdown through the air. He was the primary target getter. Well, actually, Trey Tucker had 10 targets and converted 3 of those for 28 yards. But after that, it was Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty right up 8, 9 targets apiece. Jeanty 58 yards, Bowers 6 for 55. It's been rocky for Brock Bowers ever since their return.
Very.
After the 3 touchdown game, it's just been tough inside of this offense. But Jay Rich, we're talking all about Shedeur. What are your thoughts? I know you watched it. I watched it. My damn wife watched it. Everybody watched it. What are your thoughts on the player Shedeur Sanders and what's happened since the game has ended, right? Because we are going to talk about that buster-ass coach, Kevin Stefanski, in a minute. But let's focus on the positive right now. Shedeur's debut, first Browns rookie to win in what? Like 20 years,
I think a long
30
time.
years?
Yeah, like over 20 years.
Something like that, yeah. First since like the 90s. First rookie to win their first start. Everybody in Cleveland seems to be happy, but there is a large contingency of haters who said not that impressive, Jay Rich. Really wasn't that impressive. Talk about it.
Well, yeah, right, because the easy answer is, well, it's just the Raiders, right? He beat the Raiders. The Raiders are terrible. They allowed 10 sacks. Their offensive line's bad. Their defense is terrible. He still had to go against Max Crosby, right? And he talked about that at the podium. But when you talk about Shedeur Sanders and his performance, it's not necessarily the interception where the DN dropped off the edge and he didn't even see him, threw it right at him. It's the plays that the quarterbacks on the roster currently can't make. The deep throw to Isaiah Bond down the field. The throw over the middle to Jerry Jeudy on the crosser. Like, those are the plays that we haven't seen from Dylan Gabriel, that we haven't seen from this offense, that we know can work in the offense, but the quarterback is not willing to make those throws. They're making the mistakes. And this is a game as well where Shedeur didn't really have much of a ground game. Quinshon Judkins only had 47 yards, 2.9 a carry on 16 carries. Now, we get the 2 touchdowns, and Shedeur helped set up some of those touchdowns. But even still, right, you could say, well, the Dylan Sampson touchdown was kind of just a broken play. It was also very well blocked, right? So it kind of goes both ways for this team. The Raiders are a bad team, but even for a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders, it's your first start. Expectations are going to be, depending on how you feel about him, very low in most cases, right? And we can talk about any quarterback's debut. Cam Ward's, Bo Nix's last season. Like, expectations are going to be very low. But I thought he played fine, right? The QBR number, I kind of get why it is what it is. It's the throws and what he did wasn't crazy. Just the yardage piled up because of some of the bigger plays. But overall, like, it's a fine debut, right? He made his mistakes. He's going to grow from it. The offensive line is fine. The running game was almost non-existent, even against the Raiders. And he threw to ultimately help them score points and win the football game. That's all we asked for. We knew the defense would keep them in place. We knew they wouldn't allow a lot of points. We knew they'd generate some pressure, generate some turnovers. And Shedeur did his job. He protected the football for the most part. He didn't take too many sacks. And he also put up some yardage on top of that. So I thought he played pretty well. I'd probably give him a B- for a performance for a debut. He got the win in Vegas. Let's see what he can do next week against San Francisco.
I mean, listen, I listened to a lot of former players kind of talk about this situation last night, even this morning before the show. And the thing that they keep harping on, and it is truly funny to me how we pick and choose development for players. And we kind of talked about this in a joking manner last show with JJ McCarthy, but this is a quarterback who didn't do shit all year, right? From practice, there's no game reps. They said he was not getting any kind of reps in practice for 11 weeks of his NFL career. And the first time that he got to work with the guys that he played with was Wednesday of last week going into this game. So he had a few days to prep with the starters. All reports were he did everything in his power to stay late, work the iPad, make sure he felt comfortable, get with the guys, to go out there on the road. And you're right, this is not a great team. The Raiders aren't a great team, but it's still an NFL team. They got Max Crosby. You're on the road. You're a rookie damn quarterback, and you're throwing Isaiah Bond and Cedric Tillman and the ghost of Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
To go out there and win, to go out there and make some plays, because Kevin Stefanski didn't give him a lot of opportunity to really push the ball downfield. I don't think those were designed shots, right? That was Shedeur rolling out, extending the play, taking the pass. Do I think that he will be the long-term starter of Cleveland? Absolutely not. I don't think Stefanski wants him to be the quarterback in week 13. I don't believe that Stefanski will be the head coach of this team. And whoever's the new head coach, they're not going to hitch their wagon to a 5th-round quarterback. Hell, they're not going to hitch their wagon to Dylan Gabriel. Neither of those guys are probably going to be the quarterbacks of the future. But you know what, man? Sometimes instead of predicting and projecting what's going to happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now, appreciate the moment. And in this moment, you know who is happy about that start and who wants to see him start more than anybody else? Fans of the Cleveland Browns. You listen to any Browns media member, you go across Browns social media, and they're like, yo, he may not be Tom Brady. He may not be Justin Herbert. We may not ever get a Joe Burrow out of him. But for the rest of this season, give us something fun. Give us some excitement. And he was excited. Like his comments after, you could just tell this was a dude that just wants to play. He's excited, he's enthusiastic, and he got to win, right? And then his buster-ass head coach, Kevin Stefanski, Myles Garrett sacked quarterbacks 1,000 times in his career. He didn't break the record in this game. Hell, he had 5 sacks the week before. He gave Shedeur the most backhanded, quick, how about that rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders? Great job. Now let's move on to the deep. He's handing out game balls and kudos to everybody besides the first rookie quarterback to win a game in 30 years, their debut game for the Browns in 30 damn years. And you still can't get over yourself and ego enough to just give that young man some props. It costs you nothing to be a decent-ass human, right? It costs you absolutely nothing to show some love for a player going out there and getting a dub, and his buster-ass head coach couldn't even do that, man. What a bum Kevin Stefanski is. I can't wait until he gets fired. Cannot wait, Jay Rich.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny, though, your point of he can't just name Shedeur the starter because he still has faith in Dylan Gabriel and he doesn't want Shedeur to be the starter for whatever reason, right? For whatever reason, that's the case. And after every game, it was, well, are you going to evaluate quarterback? Dylan Gabriel's our starter. Dylan Gabriel's our starter. Dylan Gabriel's our starter. Dylan Gabriel is our starter if he can clear concussion protocol. Shedeur Sanders gets the Browns' first victory on the road all season. They're 1-5 on the road because Shedeur Sanders got them a win on the road in Vegas. And even after the game, he's like, well, we're going to see what happens. Right, we're going to see who our starting quarterback is. Everyone in the Browns media wants Shedeur. We all want Shedeur because we kind of know what Dylan Gabriel is, and we've seen him a decent amount this season. He's nothing to write home about, and this Browns team isn't going anywhere. And ultimately, if you're Jimmy Haslam in the ownership group, you should want Shedeur to play because that's going to make you a hell of a lot more money than if Dylan Gabriel plays. And if I am the owner, you could fire Stefanski if you want. I don't think he's a bad coach, but he's certainly not handling the situation very well. And for that reason, he probably should be fired in the same ways that Aaron Glenn isn't coaching poorly, but he's definitely not doing the right things with the media at times. And I wish he was a little bit better in that respect. But Stefanski probably will go by the end of the season, and we'll see who the starter is next year. But it was good for Shedeur to ultimately come away with a victory.
Yeah, I thought it was a good debut for him. It was. I give him a B. I give him a B. Yeah. I give him a B. The good thing that he didn't do, he didn't spin around in the pocket. He drifted one time, and it was an out route to the flat that was incomplete. He drifted, but he wasn't doing some of the things that had gotten him into trouble.
The big negative plays, right?
The big negative plays. Now, next week, much different task. San Francisco 49ers are on tap. Much different task. And even without Nick Bosa, even without Fred Warner, even without Michael Williams, much different task going up against Salah in this defense. It's already come out. Chip Kelly fired from Las Vegas. Get his ass up out of there. Should have been fired. And I hope we are done with the Chip Kelly NFL experience. He needs not coach another NFL team. He needs not run another NFL offense. He need not be associated with another NFL franchise in any capacity whatsoever. Get him out of the NFL. Go back to college. We need not see you around these parts again here, boy, ever again. Jay Rich, good riddance. Chip Kelly, gone out the door. Out. Goodbye.
Do you think, though, this means good things for Jeanty, for the offense potentially?
No.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
The Raiders team,
Kelly,
they are awful.
They're
absolutely terrible. It is a terrible football team, terrible quarterback, terrible offensive line, terrible defense, just terrible, terrible, terrible. Jay Rich, Raiders stink. But good riddance to Chip Kelly, who a lot of NFL players say should not have been in the damn building in the first place. Jay, we're at the 40-minute mark. We got to take a break. When we come back, we got to talk 9. Jay Rich, we got to talk 9. We're going to talk some Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. We got Matthew Stafford in the Rams. Lamar Jackson, what's going on with your boy? JSN's historic season. Michael Wilson, Caleb Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, and more. We appreciate each and every eye, each and every ear in the building. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, get your phones out, subscribe to our Bleacher Report content, and we'll see you right after the break. Appreciate y'all pulling up to the show. This is Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, every Wednesday, and every single Friday right here on the channel. Hit the thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe. Check out all of our fantasy football content on DDFFB. Hey, there was a QR code on there. Go check out all of our work over on Bleacher Report. We're there multiple days a week, doing all types of stuff for BR. Shout out to Bleacher Report, man. Dope company. Love working with them. Check out Yahoo Fantasy, all of my content, Yahoo articles. Over there is a bunch of them. I do like 2 a week. Over there on Yahoo, Data Dump with Matt Harmon every single Tuesday live on the Yahoo Fantasy channel. So pull up, support all the content there, and you see on the screen behind me, ESPN Jordan Reed's Big Board. That's some content that I dropped earlier late last week. So on this channel, his top 50 Big Board, me talking through the 2026 class, 2026 prospects. Check that out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Jay Rich, we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about your boy JJ McCarthy.
My boy.
Jay Rich 9. Jay Rich 9 in the Minnesota Vikings. I need to tweet something out as we talk through this game, but let's talk about it because it was a beatdown. It was a beatdown in Green Bay, a Green Bay beatdown, 23-6. No Josh Jacobs. It didn't matter because the Minnesota Vikings offense is terrible. Jay Rich, it's absolutely dreadful right now with JJ McCarthy under center. Talk about this game while I tweet some stuff out about him.
Yeah, so 23-6 for Green Bay. Jordan Love didn't have to do a whole lot in this game, only threw for 140 yards, 14 for 21.
Didn't have to do anything.
No touchdowns, only sacked 1 time. It was the Emmanuel Wilson show. For people who did not watch the game, he ran all over the Vikings. They gave him 28 carries for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. I believe he was a top 3 or 4 running back in fantasy this week. Once again, the targets were distributed pretty much amongst everyone. The leader was Christian Watson once again. So for anyone who's been holding Christian Watson throughout his injury, it seems like he is developing as the #1 target once again for Jordan Love down the stretch. But getting into the Minnesota Vikings, they couldn't run the ball very effectively. They certainly couldn't pass the ball, and J.J. McCarthy once again stunk it up. 12 for 19 for 87 yards, 2 interceptions, one that was pretty bad and one where his arm got hit and it just went right to the defender, unfortunately for him. He was sacked 5 times, and the sacks were rough. But more importantly, the number one question, Ray, is even though J.J. McCarthy's only started a few games, how much leash does he have? How long should Kevin O'Connell continue to run him out there? To be honest, they don't have much else because everyone's asking the same question. How much longer is Justin Jefferson going to put up with this inept quarterback play, knowing he's one of the best receivers in football, but he is now playing with arguably the worst starting quarterback in the NFL?
Isn't that wild?
Yes, including Shedeur Sanders.
Isn't that wild, Jay Rich? And all I keep thinking about, this is all I've thought about over the past couple of days, Jay Rich. And I think it's easy to pile on to McCarthy right now because of some of the early antics, right? Him winning damn offensive player of the week. Like, stop. Like, come on, man.
9.
Come on, man. Like, stop it. It was blasphemous when they named him that.
It's the nickname, right? It's the fact that they came out. It's 9.
It's the face. Ego, it's the nickname. It's the I take reps with my dogs. I'm on the field 2 hours ahead of time. It's all of that. Like, God. Dude, go out there and play. I think when it's all said and done, Jay Rich, the biggest scam that we've seen over the past 5 years is Jim Harbaugh and J.J. McCarthy scamming the Minnesota Vikings into thinking this dude was actually good, right? Because let's just talk about what he did in college. Because we know he didn't throw the ball at Michigan, Jay Rich. He did not throw the ball at Michigan. But here's what everybody said. Everybody said, well, he didn't need to. His percentage of throws in high leverage situations, this is why, yada, yada, yada. They pulled the wool over a lot of people's eyes because he's looking bad at every level. After them first 15 scripted plays is up, after them first 15 is gone, he looks awful. The feet are bad. Everything looks too fast. And he's had time. He had a whole year to sit and learn. Remember, we talked about that last week, so don't give me he needs more. Had a whole year to sit and learn. He's been the star. He's getting all the starter. He was so good, they didn't play him in preseason. We don't need to see nothing from 9. He's got it, baby. Now the Vikings are damn 4-7. They're picking right now currently 12th overall in the NFL draft, and I'm going to just assume they lose a couple of more games. And to your point, I don't want to hear no goddamn excuses. 0. You got Justin Jefferson. You got Jordan Addison. Even Jalen Naylor as a number 3 wide receiver is comparable enough. You got 2 good running backs. You got TJ Hawkinson at tight end. I don't want to hear it, Jay Rich. He's been stank. He's been stank out there. 9. Terrible, Jay Rich. Terrible. If you look back at that 24 class, I mean.
Give me the rankings, Ray. Give me the rankings. Come on, baby.
I mean.
Rank them.
We don't need, hey. If we're ranking 20,
I need you to say
Drake May 1. Drake May 1. If we're re-ranking 2024, Drake May's got to be 1. Jay Rich. Caleb 2.
Ooh.
Caleb 2.
Okay. Are you sure about that?
Caleb 2. I haven't left the Caleb train. Caleb 2.
Yeah, but you're dropping
Caleb
your boy
2.
though.
I think right now, due to the injury. You got to go Bo 3. Due to the injury, you got to go Bo 3. I'm not going to disrespect Denver Broncos and Bo next.
3.
Right now, he's on the field and playing. JD5 would be right there. JD5 and Bo Nix tied at 3. It's a tie for 3. It's a tie for 3 because there's a talent.
But Caleb, definitive 2.
Now, here's the real issue is who's dead last. Is it Penix or is it McCarthy? And
come on. You got to go. You want about Michael Penix.
You got to go Penix last. Penix's knees are cooked. Penix's knees are done, Jay Rich. The knees are done.
His knees
I'm taking 9 over Penix.
But he's been better than McCarthy's been.
I'm taking 9 over Penix. He's got 2 fresh knees. He ain't got much else, but he's got 2 fresh knees. Jay, does it get better, man? Does it, all jokes aside, how does this get better for this young man? It's just time. He needs more reps. If he needs more reps, give Shedeur a lot more reps then. Don't bury him after one bad game. What's it going to take to turn this around for McCarthy?
Can they sim to December? Is that possible for 9 and the Vikings, Ray? Because I think you remember that we talked about it going into Friday. They get to go to Seattle this week. So they had to face off against Jeff Hafley and the wonderful Green Bay defense. And now they have the pleasure of going up against their former quarterback that they kicked to the curb in Sam Darnold. And Mike McDonald's defense. You thought 9 looked stank to get the Packers? Oh my goodness. He's going to look even worse in Seattle, where 9 versus the 12s?
How do you think Jefferson feels watching Sam Darnold launch piss missiles to JSN repeatedly, week in and week out? Jaxon Smith-Njigba about 1,300 damn yards, J-Ray, 1,300. Sam Darnold has eyes for one man on that offense and one man alone, and his number 11. How do you think that Jefferson feels today thinking, damn, he's on pace for his worst career statistical season of his young career right now, and it ain't even close. Justin Jefferson, the perennial all-pro, the player that people say is one of the best, if not the best receiver in the game, is on 100%. Pace for his worst season as a professional quarterback. And when Carson Wentz was in there, he was still getting him the ball. You could say what you want about old Wentz, but he was getting the ball to 1-8. He was getting the ball to Jettis. Now you got McCarthy in there. This dude could barely get 50 damn yards. After the first 15 scripted, it's downhill. Jay Rich, I'm seeing people from Minnesota blame everybody. It's the OC's fault. It's this person's fault. Right? It's that person's fault. Nobody is saying it's him. All it is I see the flashes. I see the talent. Give him time. Give 9 time. He's going to work it out, Jay Rich. Give 9 time. Give him time.
It's terrible for Jefferson. He's averaging the lowest yards per game of his entire career. It's not even particularly close, 72.3, and that includes games with Carson Wentz, right? The lowest before that was his rookie season, 87.5 yards per game. He's at 72.3. It's just crazy. Like, again, Jefferson isn't necessarily a touchdown guy, but he only has 2 on the season, right? And I believe one of those came in week 1 when McCarthy threw him that touchdown late in the Bears game, and then one came against Detroit, and I guess that was McCarthy as well. But it's like, how does it get better, though? He doesn't throw for enough yards. They don't even let him throw the ball because why would they? He's awful. Like, the only one game he threw the ball like 40 times, they lost. So it's like they need to protect this kid. They need a better rushing attack. The offensive line was supposed to be great. It's not playing up to snuff right now. I don't know what they do. They put everything they had into J.J. McCarthy. All their assets, the draft capital was to invest in the team to support J.J. McCarthy. They traded for assets in the rushing game to help J.J. McCarthy. They signed Will Fries from Indianapolis for $100 million to help J.J. McCarthy. And so now it's like, it's not, I think the problem for me with McCarthy is not that he needs time to develop, is that you're now asking the question, do we really need time for him to develop, or do we kind of know he's not that guy? Like, he looks so bad that we're asking the question, how much leash do we really give this kid? Because he's not showing enough that is deserving of that time, right? Certain quarterbacks, you can see it. I think Caleb is a perfect example where you're like, okay, he's struggling. That sack in the end zone was disgusting, and I hope he never does it ever again. He probably will. But you see the flashes of why he was the number 1 overall pick, why he's deserving of such high praise. But with McCarthy, those flashes are so few and far between that it feels like we're still wondering whether or not we should even continue to work with this kid and hope he could be the quarterback of the future for the Minnesota Vikings.
We'll see, Jay. We'll see. I don't know who they play next. Oh, Seattle. In Seattle.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
We'll see.
We will take the Seahawks at that.
We will see. Jay Rich, what a big comeback. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. What a comeback. And I told you on Bleacher Report, you were smiling high when you thought the Colts were going to win this game. They came out hot. 14 quick points. It looked like it didn't look like it was going to be just a victory, Jay Rich. It looked like they might go on the route, Kansas City. I'm like, oh, shit. 14 quick ones, in the first 2 quarters for Indianapolis. I'm like, man. Then they come out of halftime and they get 2 field goals. They go up. Kansas City's only got 9 points. 9 points for Kansas City through 3 quarters, but they scored 11 in the fourth quarter and then 3 in overtime to ultimately beat the Indianapolis Colts 23-20. It was not an easy outing for Patrick Mahomes. And Jay, honestly, I wouldn't even say he looked particularly great in this one. Even with 352 passing yards, 1 interception, sacked 4 times, he was running around. He got it done. I thought the real difference maker for this team was Kareem Hunt's ability to handle 30 rush attempts. Like, it wasn't a huge rushing output day for him, but man, when they needed a first down, when they needed to just move the chains, because that's what this was. This was not this high-flying shootout. This was a grinded out, chain-moving type 100%. Game. I told you prior to the game, Kansas City had only allowed one 100-yard rusher this season, right? One of those guys to go for over 100 yards in the run defense. Even before Rex Ryan and company talked about it on NFL Countdown, what did I say on the show on Friday? The game plan for Kansas City is simple. You run fit the offense. You make Daniel Jones beat you with his arm. They didn't let Jonathan Taylor get going. JT had 58 yards and 30 of them came on one play. It was the one where he bounced it outside and he hit the sideline, but JT couldn't get shit going on the ground. The defense, they run blitzed, they sold out to stop him, and it worked, Jay Rich, because what we didn't see Indy do, and I'm gonna ask you the question, like, what kind of deal do you give this type of quarterback? They didn't let Daniel Jones go try to win it, man. It looked like they did not really want to put the ball in harm's way with Daniel Jones. No sacks, no interceptions, but it never felt like they really asked him to go get it. You see the Indianapolis pass catchers didn't do much. I know this was a road environment, a tough game, a tough matchup. But man, listen, Indy's in the driver's seat right now in that AFC South. But they better get it together, because this is 3 straight weeks coming off of a bye where the offense hasn't been particularly good. Okay? Rashee Rice, 8 for 141. He got it done on his 12 targets. Worthy, 4 for 59. Not that much there. Kelsey, 4 for 43. Not that much in that department either. Kareem Hunt scored the touchdown. I mean, there was 1 touchdown on the Kansas City side of the ball, man. They scored 1 damn TD. After that, just field goal city. Jay Rich, so talk about it.
Yeah. So this is kind of been my whole thing with Daniel Jones, right? When they traded for Sauce Gardner, you said this is a move that tells you they believe in their quarterback.
That's what I said, yeah.
But the biggest problem with the Sam Darnolds and the Daniel Jones is that it doesn't matter what you do for 15, 16, 17 weeks. It's when things are the hottest, when your ass is hot and you need to make a play. And the difference in this game was 2 things. Mahomes' ability to manipulate the pocket and do things with his legs, on top of the fact he also has a guy in Rashee Rice. When they needed a play, Rashee Rice was there to make the play, whether his hamstring was bothering him or not. And when they needed the play from their quarterback went out and made the play. Kareem Hunt was phenomenal in this game. Yes, the yards per carry was only at 3.5, but they were able to continue the balance, right? Mahomes still threw the ball 46 times, and they ran the ball with Kareem Hunt over 30 times in this game. Jonathan Taylor, as you mentioned, couldn't get going, but then when you put the ball in the hands of Daniel Jones to go out and win you a football game, you just don't believe he can do it, and he didn't have a guy, and Sykin didn't have a plan that allowed them to go after the game. This is the same thing that happened to the Eagles. The Eagles got up big, and they were just praying the clock ran out. They said, we know Dak can beat us. We know the Cowboys can come back, and they're just praying and hoping to God that time ran out, and just like Indianapolis did, Philly did, the clock did not strike 0 quick enough, and both teams failed to close out the game in the end. But the problem with the Colts is we expect this from Daniel Jones. Not that we expect him to lose every game, not that we expect him to close out games, but when he's not on the attack, right? When this offense isn't on the attack, and I talked about it on Friday, the games this team loses are when they can't put up more than 20 points. And they put up exactly 20 points in this game, and they lost yet again. This is an offensive team. It's an offensive-driven team. Kansas City did play great in the second half, ultimately shutting out the Colts. They did basically nothing. I believe they got no first downs, and they only had like 20 yards in the second half, or maybe that was in the fourth quarter. But Daniel Jones is just not a guy. And even offensively, you could say Tyler Warren's kind of a guy, but Kansas City was able to bottle that up. And this week, Ray, they have to go against Houston. Now, this is the home game against Houston, but Houston's 6-5.
Man.
They're 2 games behind Indianapolis.
Man.
And if they win that game with CJ Stroud probably going to be back in this game, Houston could be back potentially to win the division. I definitely have some concerns about the Colts. Their schedule is not easy. Texans at the Jaguars, at the Seahawks, 49ers, Jaguars again, Texans again. So 4 big divisional games still coming, and then their NFC West opponents in games they're probably not going to be favored in, the Seahawks and the 49ers. Going to be very difficult for this Colts team. They've looked great, but this is the problem. You can be hot for a minute, but once teams kind of figure you out, all of a sudden stuff hits the skids, and your quarterback, who was playing very well, reverts back to those old tendencies, and everyone goes, So this is why the Giants released Daniel Jones. This is why we can't believe in this guy to be a franchise quarterback. And this is why the conversation should be had.
Hold on.
How much do you pay him?
I hear you. I don't think we're at the point where the Colts need to release Daniel Jones. He ain't playing
I'm not saying release him, but I'm saying this is the reason why the Giants released him, though.
Well,
because they knew he wasn't the answer.
He's not that bad. He's not playing nearly that bad. I think the bigger point is, I think it was just obvious. You could see that they did not want him to go try to get it. They didn't trust him to do that. Maybe it was something they saw defensively that wasn't going to work. None of the guys. I know Michael Pittman scored, but nobody really had a big game. They couldn't throw the ball.
Do much of anything.
They couldn't throw the ball, and I don't even want to give it the line because he wasn't sacked. It wasn't like he was out there getting banged around and getting touched. He had 0 sacks in the game. How many quarterback hits? They had 6 quarterback hits in the game. That's it. The Colts hit Patrick Mahomes 11 times on top of the 4 sacks. So they better get it together because the AFC South, as you alluded to, the Houston Texans ain't playing no games, man. At defense, they are not effing around at all in Houston. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Colts do because they've lost 2 of their last 3. They've lost 2 of their last 3, and this would have been a big game for them to win to put them in contention for that number 1 overall seed in the AFC. This was a tough loss for the Indianapolis Colts, and the Chiefs continue to stay in the playoff hunt. Big win by Kansas City. They're still in the hunt. The deep ball's still not working for the Chiefs. It's a problem. Kareem Hunt, hey, you got you a hammer running back down the stretch with Kareem Hunt. He's gonna get you 2 yards to carry, but they trust him. He'll fall in the end zone. And we talked about that last week, Jay Rich. We literally said he will get all the touches and fall in the end zone. We literally talked about that.
He was good though.
Yeah,
he did what he had to do.
I thought he played well for what they asked him to do in this matchup. So good job if you had to start Kareem Hunt, and Rashee Rice absolutely did his thing. But from one quarterback who was a little timid to throw the ball to one who is playing like the MVP he probably deserves to be here in 2025. Let's talk about that Sunday night football game. And more importantly, let's talk about Matthew Stafford. Jay Rich, 273 passing yards, another 3 touchdowns. He's up to 30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the season. The Rams demolished the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 34-7. Baker Mayfield was knocked out of this game at halftime. He was awful prior to that, running around like crazy, getting hit, throwing. In the 2 interceptions, K-Dot and come on, man.
It's a pick, but it's more of like a
fumble,
like strip. Yeah.
And then the last interception was the desperation heave at halftime in which his pride was hurt and he didn't come back into the game after that. But Tampa Bay couldn't do a damn thing. Sean Tucker, nothing. Rachaad White, nothing. Emeka Egbuka, Jay Rich, finishes the game with 32 yards. 32 yards came on 1 catch in the fourth quarter. Prior to that 1 catch in the fourth quarter, he had 2 receptions for 0 yards. First 5 games of the season is goddamn all-pro. All-pro player. Last 5 games, Jay Rich, he's just out there getting wind sprints. He's just out there running wind sprints. I know last week he had a good week, but prior to that, it was, I believe, 5 of his last 6 games he's failed to go over 60 yards. It's not a talent thing. This team, dude, this ain't the same Tampa Bay team. This ain't the same Tampa Bay team, Jay Rich. It's not the same Tampa Bay team. On the Rams side of the ball, Kyron Williams had 12 carries, 46 yards, but let me tell you, 6 of them came in the final drive of the game. He nor Quorum touched the ball. They really didn't even try to run it. They didn't really try to run it. It wasn't effective early, and they just said, you know what, Matthew Stafford, we could throw and win. Devontae Adams, league leading. We nailed it, Jay Rich. Shout out. Did we not say at the beginning of the season, would you be surprised if Puka was the wide receiver one, but Devontae Adams leads the team in receiving? That was your question, Jay Rich. Well, yeah, he does lead the team in receiving touchdowns. He leads the whole goddamn NFL in receiving touchdowns right now. Devontae Adams, like the way that he's playing next to Puka is what I thought Pickens would do. I thought he would just be a really great number 2 option in this offense, right?
And red zone threat.
In red zone threat. That's exactly what I thought Pickens would be. Pickens he's exceeded it. I did not think that what GP is doing now was capable alongside CeeDee Lamb. And you know what? I'm glad I'm wrong because I love the player. I didn't think he could ascend to this level. Devontae Adams, he is their wide receiver too, but with the touchdown upside, I mean, he's a weekly low-end wide receiver 1 type play. And Puka Nacua quietly, because he doesn't score a bunch of touchdowns. I mean, he had 11 targets, 7 catches, 100 yards. Just quiet 97 yards for Puka. He's number 2 in the NFL in receiving yards per game right now, so still a phenomenal season for Puka. But what are your big takeaways from this one? Colby Parkinson also got in the end zone as well. I know everybody this is why I don't listen. A lot of these fantasy analysts who really don't watch the game, they're right. It's Terrence Ferguson season. What did we say? What did we tell the people, Jay Rich? It's probably Colby Parkinson that's going to be the one.
Split carries, and it was him who got in the end zone last week, and once again, it was him who got in the end zone this week, right?
Yeah, yes. What are your thoughts on this game? Igbuka, Baker, and by the Bridgewater was awful. Awful. And he knows he was awful. The look in his face after that pass, that was when you effed up. Like, deep down inside when you done some shit that you weren't supposed to do, and you got that stone-faced look on your face. He knew he was out there playing like shit. Now, granted, he just came in cold off the bench, and this Rams team, they're playing like the best team in the NFL. But I think Tampa Bay is up Schitt's Creek without a paddle if they got to rely on Bridgewater for any amount of time. Like, it is over. Carolina, the Carolina Panthers, Jordan Richards, the Carolina Panthers might be headed for the playoffs. We might see Carolina in the postseason. We may see Carolina in the postseason.
We might. But yeah, the takeaways from this game are not too many, right? Matthew Stafford, once again, playing very, very well. 273, 3 touchdowns. No running game to really speak of because they just didn't really care. They just continued to throw the football. The real concern is Tampa Bay. And I kind of touched on this a little bit when we talked about the game preview. Ever since the bye week, they've looked worse and worse and worse. They gave up 28 to the Patriots. They gave up 44 to the Bills. They gave up 34 to the Rams. Like, defensively, this team has been a big problem. Everyone talks about offense, right? Offensively, they're not very good. Bucky Irving, not available right now. Should be back hopefully this week. Mike Evans, out for the season, or at least the regular season, projects to be out for the regular season, right? Chris Godwin finally returned to action, but again, what did he do? Absolutely nothing. Didn't expect a whole lot from him anyways. No. It's all been on the shoulders of Emeka Egbuka and Tez Johnson, basically, ever since these receivers have been out. And so now you have a situation where Baker's potentially hurt. Things are going really wrong for this team, and then you're also playing the MVP frontrunner on the other side. It was never a good situation for this Tampa Bay team. I think that overall, Stafford is probably the MVP, although I am a little surprised as to how heavily favored he is.
Where's he at right now?
Adams, he's minus 215.
Ahead of Allen?
No, he's minus 215 on the board, bro. Like, next closest is Drake May at plus 200, but it's going to be May or Stafford. As it stands right now, I believe that the Patriots are number one.
Yeah, I couldn't pick May over Stafford right now.
But why? Why? Who's more valuable to their team? I'm not trying to say Stafford isn't valuable. Yeah, no, but May is in some ways more valuable to the team.
I think they both represent the same amount of value to their team. Stafford's outplaying Drake May.
Sort of.
I think they're both the most valuable pieces to their team. You can't look at Stafford and say 30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions ain't more valuable than May. And I'm not looking at May and saying what May's doing is more valuable than Stafford. I think they are of equal value to their respective teams, but Matthew Stafford is significantly outplaying Drake May. He is, and that's why
I wouldn't say significantly, because May still has more passing yards per game than Stafford does. Right? So it's like significant is it, you could say it if you want. May's QBR is higher. He's
30
passing for more
touchdowns,
yardage.
2 interceptions, Jay Rich.
I hear you. But May still runs too, right? Like it's not like he doesn't just pass the football. And that's where Stafford is a bit more limited. And let's be real. Stafford's playing on a way better team.
Well, that is why I'm saying Stafford. Equal value. I think they're equal value. I do think Stafford is appropriately placed as the front runner right now. But I like May too.
For sure.
I like May too.
And people are going to give Stafford the MVP. He's having a phenomenal season. You and I both
Has he ever won one?
I don't think he's ever won MVP.
I mean, he's already a Hall of Famer, but he's already a Hall of Famer. But
career
this
high
just really
rate, Devontae Adams rate. You know what his touchdown rate is? Do you want to guess how many receptions he has? He has 12 touchdowns.
Adams, 54.
He's got 48. 25% of his receptions go for touchdowns, which is absurd. But this is why when we talked about Adams going to LA, this is the Cooper Kupp red zone replacement. This is the role they needed because Puka, for whatever reason, has not kind of developed into that. They didn't have that on the roster. Now they have a guy in Devontae Adams that can go catch touchdowns. And what do you know? Stafford has 30 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions through, 11 games now? Yeah, 11 games. So he has twice as many touchdowns as he has sacks allowed and only has 2 interceptions. I don't think he's thrown an interception since like week 2 of the season and 27 touchdowns since then. MVP frontrunner, played phenomenal in this game. But yeah, Stafford, the Rams are great. The 2 calls we had this season, Ray, the Broncos defense going to be great and the Rams are going to ball the hell out. Unreal from Stafford and the Rams. They are definitely looking like Super Bowl favorites.
Man. I think that with the Philly loss, that's why I said the Philly loss was big. They move into the driver's seat for the number 1 overall seed in the NFC. And they still have a top 10 pick here in the 2026 NFL draft by way of the Atlanta Falcons.
Shout out Falcons.
Unreal. Got to win. Did not watch much of that game, but they got a dub, Jay Rich. Let's talk about this one, man. Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? I need to know what's wrong. I need to know what's going on. I just need to know what's going on, Jay Rich. Lamar Jackson
has been struggling.
What do you think the issue is? Because there was a play where the old Lamar Jackson would have just took off and run. And right now, I don't know if it's the hamstring. I don't know what it is, but something is off. Now, the Baltimore Ravens won this game 23-10. The Jets, Tyrod Taylor didn't do much. There was no Justin Fields in this game at all. It was all Tyrod Taylor. He took 3 sacks, 222 yards. Lamar, 13 for 23, 153, no touchdowns, no picks, 1 sack, 34 QBR, 7 carries, 11 yards for Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry, 21 for 64, 2 touchdowns for Derrick Henry. The leading receiver was Zay Flowers in the game. Mark Andrews, 1 catch. Isaiah Likely, 1 catch. DeAndre Hopkins, 2 catches. Devontae Walker, 1 catch. At home versus the Jets, this was a sloppy slugfest of a game. It was just slow, unexciting. And my big question is, what is going on with 8? What is going on with 8, Jay Rich? We talked a lot about 9. What's going on with Lamar Jackson right now?
I think the easy answer is that he just can't possibly be healthy, right? Like, some credit to this offense. They haven't played terribly, but definitely in terms of efficiency, they've been bad. Last week, he did not look good. Against the Vikings, he didn't look very good either. He looked pretty good against Miami, though, so credit to him there. And they have put up 23 or more points in each game since he's returned, right? They're number 1 in the NFC, or the AFC North, sorry. And they are putting up points. The defense is getting better. But definitely against the Jets, you know, we kind of talked about it when we did the Bleacher Report show. Like, I expect him to beat up on a bad team. Now, Aaron Glenn had a pretty good plan for him. I thought they played him fairly well. And especially when he can't run, it makes that game plan a little bit easier, right? And so that's where you just have to assume he's not healthy, because we know that if he's healthy, he shreds the Jets. Because the Jets can't stop him on the ground. And obviously, he can still shred them through the air. But I think that's where, you know, you look to Lamar and you say, at this point of his career, he's not the same player he was at Louisville. He's not the same player he was in 2019 when he won his first MVP. He actually has mechanics that need to all be working for him now. He understands how to throw the football effectively. He understands touch. He understands placement. And this all stems from his legs. Quarterbacks always talk about this. You don't just throw with your arm. You throw with your legs. You throw with your knees. You throw with your entire body. And when he isn't healthy and is unable to use his whole body to make throws and be accurate, that's where I think some of the errors and some of the issues for him throwing the ball down the field have come. Like, he had DeAndre Hopkins wide open for a touchdown, and he just missed him. And he was mad. He's like, it's on me because I missed the throw. But part of it has to be because he's not healthy. But the question now remains is like, okay, he's not healthy. But when is he going to be healthy? How far can this team go? And like, where do we go from here? Because question to you, Ray, how much do you believe in this Ravens team when we don't know the timeline for his health and what the issue could be for Lamar? Because there has to be something going on.
Not much. And if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Hamilton was injured in the game as well. I don't know if he returned or if he was removed from the game and not asked to come back in. I feel. Listen, I'm not going to claim to know everything about the Ravens. I don't follow the ins and outs of the team, but just watching them, it doesn't feel as good of a team that they had the last couple of years. So it feels like if they do make it to the playoffs, they're headed for a quick out. It feels like they're headed for a quick out, which will then raise the concern of, well, where do they go from here? That's 2 years of Derrick Henry. It didn't work out last year. It didn't work out this year. Lamar's getting older. Zay Flowers is going to be up for a contract.
Extension,
you know, Mark Andrews, what do you do with him? Roquan Smith, the defense is getting older. They still need to get after the quarterback. In a very different way, it feels like this Ravens team is exactly where Buffalo is. Like, they're good enough to get in. They've got the quarterbacks and the talent to make some noise. But overall, you look at the team, and I don't see. I don't know, man. I don't know what Baltimore really does in the playoffs, man, if they get in.
Well, I think they're probably going to get in because especially the way the AFC is shaking out, they could obviously get in just off of winning the division, right, which is kind of step one. But, you know, you ask me, if Joe Burrow is 80% and Lamar Jackson is, I mean, I wouldn't even say he's 80% right now. He's playing like he's like 50% or 60%. I don't know if the Bengals are going to lose to the Ravens on Thursday night, right? Like, that's going to be a big game. And if they can't put up points, it's going to be tough.
Can we just be fair here? Can we be fair to Lamar, man? Jay, I mean, who's he got to throw the ball to? Who's he got, Jay Rich? Hopkins? Come on, man. Tylan Wallace? Tez Walker?
But it's the same, but Ray, it's the same conversation with
They got to get him
though.
some weapons, Jay.
But it's the same. You kill Allen every week.
Go get Pickens. I said he needs weapons too. I said Allen can't do it with Tyrell Shavers. I haven't been unfair. I said Allen ain't throwing to nobody. He's throwing the ball to Elijah Moore. Yeah, I said Allen was different when they had Diggs, right? When they had Stephon Diggs that 3-year run, to have somebody you could count on, like they got to go get somebody. It can't be goddamn Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, man.
But I think this is part of the problem, right? When you just talk about teams and their windows and kind of what they're doing on a year-to-year basis, like we're seeing in real time what happens to teams when you're paying a quarterback as much money as Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are being paid. And it's good teams like the Philadelphias, like the Kansas City Chiefs right now, have found ways to make it work for the team. But definitely Baltimore is struggling because they're all in on this defense, and this defense isn't playing overly well. And when Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson can't put on the cape and win a game, they have there is nothing there. There is no Rashee Rice to bail you out, right? There is no A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith to bail you out or make a play for you. It is literally just these quarterbacks, and I don't know what they do because I don't know how you fix this problem. They have such highly paid assets. They're asked them to do so much. They always have, whether it's Allen or Lamar. They've always been in the same boat. They're asked to deliver with nothing or very little around them. And Henry's been awful this season. He's been awful. They
Pickens to the Ravens. What do you think about that, Jay Rich?
It'd be great. But do you think he'd be happy, though?
If he's the second highest paid receiver in NFL history, I think George Pickens would be just fine. And he's only 24 years old. Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Jay Rich, let's talk about it because we are witnessing potentially the greatest wide receiver season in the history of football right now coming out of the Pacific Northwest. My goodness, Jay Rich. Jaxon Smith-Njigba. I mean, how good? I mean, how good is JSN? What a player. What a player.
Do you want to guess what his lowest receiving yards in a game is this season?
Probably like 65 yards, Jay Rich.
79 yards. His lowest output on the entire season is almost 80 yards, and he only has 3 games of less than 100. And in 2 of those games where he was under 100, he had 93 and 96 and a touchdown. That's how good Jaxon Smith-Njigba has been this season. It does not matter who's covering him. He's always open.
10 targets, 8 catches, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. He currently leads the league in receptions with 80. He leads the league in yards with 1,313 receiving yards through 11 games. Jay Rich, through 11 games.
It's crazy. Like, all credit to everyone involved. Kubiak, Darnold, Smith-Njigba. I did not see this coming. I was fading the whole situation. I want no part of this Seattle offense. But Jaxon Smith-Njigba is him, man. Like, it's crazy because, you know, when we talk about Garrett Wilson and we say, man, if he just played in like a decent offense with a good quarterback, like, how good could Garrett Wilson be? Because every single one of these Ohio State receivers, except for Marvin Harrison Jr., is a damn dog. Like, they're all so good. Chris Olave, Emeka Puka, Garrett Wilson, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, who even in college was the best of them all. And now he's showing it in the NFL. Very, very happy for JSN. He is so good. He's always been so good. But now he's finally showing the world why he's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Friend of this show, we have consistently ridden with that Jaxon Smith-Njigba trusted trend. A lot of people thought he was a slot-only merchant, couldn't win on the outside, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. 1,300 yards later, he is the franchise leader in Seattle Seahawks history. DK Metcalf had that title before him. They kicked DK Metcalf out the building because they knew they had a superstar in Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Right now, Jay Rich, I'm just being real. Dynasty fantasy football. Where's he at? Where's he at? I'm not even going to do a...
Do you want to ask where he's at?
Where would you place him? I don't give a damn what KTC says. Where do you think he ranks in Dynasty right now?
I mean, it's hard not to have him at number 1.
It's very hard not to have him at number 1.
Most people would have him at 1, very deserving as number 1. But is he number 1? Is he ahead of Chase?
Is he ahead of? That's the question.
Because the problem is that if you're putting him at 1, you're saying Sam Darnold be damned. I'm in, right?
I'm in. Sam Darnold be damned.
Like, maybe you don't love Darnold. Darnold bit hit or miss at times. But you're saying Sam Darnold be damned. Screw Joe Burrow. I want Darnold. And both are extremely talented, right? But the difference between JSN and Puka Nacua, who I think is the better comparison. They're both over-the-middle receivers. Now, JSN can get deep, and he's showing that, but he's shown the ability to get deep and score touchdowns, which is the one thing we haven't really seen consistently from Puka Nacua, not just this year, not just in prior seasons, but pretty much the entire stretch of his career. But if you want to put him ahead of Chase, that's where it's like, okay, betting against Cincy, betting against Burrow, betting against the offense, betting against Zach Taylor because Zach Taylor sucks. But definitely everything is going right for Seattle. But do you want to make that bet today, Ray, that Jaxon Smith-Njigba is the player you're riding with at number 1 ahead of Chase? I'm kind of back and forth on it because I know how good Burrow is, I know how good Chase is, and they're going to be together for the foreseeable future. And maybe we're getting a bit of an easy schedule, the right season, lightning in a bottle from JSN, but very deserving as wide receiver 1. He's been phenomenal. And probably
I think he's deserving of it as well. And for the rest of the season, there's no receiver I'd rather have on my roster than Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
For sure.
Once the clock strikes 0 on 2025 and I got to push the draft button on a number 1 receiver for next year, it would probably be Ja'Marr Chase still. Like, I'm not going to act like that's not a dude that can go out there and get 20 targets and give you 250 yards because he can. So I still think long-term Dynasty, I'll put Chase at 1, but I'm taking Jaxon Smith-Njigba over everybody. I'm damn sure taking him over Justin Jefferson with J.J. McCarthy. That ain't even that's at this point, man. Jefferson, I don't think he's in that upper echelon tier. I don't. It has nothing to do with Jefferson. Has nothing to do with Jefferson. Jefferson
How far
himself
would you
should
drop
be
him,
there.
though?
He's got a McCarthy problem. He's got a quarterback problem. I would take Jaxon Smith-Njigba over Puka Nacua, who I thought could be the wide receiver 1 this season and the Dynasty wide receiver 1. But the way JSN has played, you can't argue him over Puka. We're having a conversation about Lamb versus Pickens, so get CD out of there. Neighbors is gone. It's really Ja'Marr Chase. It's Ja'Marr Chase, it's Puka Nacua, it's Jaxon Smith-Njigba at the top. It's those three that we're talking about.
And I think for a lot of people, Puka's barely in the conversation. Like, he's there, but he's kind of he's just there because he's been so great and he's had phenomenal stretches. But really, Chase has been the one. He's been the guy. Triple Crown last year, struggling a bit this season, and Jaxon Smith-Njigba vaulted all the way up to number 1. But Jefferson is another conversation, right? And kind of where you'd have him going forward. Like, what type of receiver would you need to get in return to pivot off of Jefferson in a straight swap? Because, like, you would take CeeDee Lamb over him. You would take Drake London over him. You would take Rashee Rice over him.
I'm not taking London with Kirk Cousins, no, sir.
No, but I'm saying long term, regardless of who the quarterback is. Do you really think that Drake London with Kirk Cousins is any worse than Justin Jefferson with JJ McCarthy? Because say what you want about Kirk Cousins.
I don't know where I would put him, Jay. But I do think that people are thinking about this right now. Jefferson is, 26 years old? 26
and a half.
26 and a half. He'll be 27 next season.
Next season.
It all hinges on it's tough because a lot of the receiver production is predicated on the quarterback, right? But then you get these seasons like this, and it's so confusing because then you get, so what is it in Seattle? Because Sam Darnold's not viewed as this high-end quarterback. Nobody thinks he's this elite talent. Why are they able to get the ball to their number 1 playmaker whenever they want to, and Minnesota can't? Is it the OC? Is it the coach? Is it the system? Is it the quarterback? Is it the receiver? Well, let's play process of elimination. We're not saying it's Jefferson's fault. It's not the receiver, so it can't be the skill of the player. Maybe you blame the offensive coordinator, but all roads always lead back to the guy throwing the football. Like
100%.
It leads back to the quarterback, Jay. And I haven't seen a lot from McCarthy to give me confidence that one of those type of games is within realm for Justin Jefferson right now. We said it earlier in the show. He is on pace for his worst season as an NFL, as a professional football player in year 6 with the guy that people said was Jim Harbaugh said he's the greatest college quarterback of all time. This dude is the franchise signal caller. They made the right pick. How dumb were the Denver Broncos for taking Bo Nix, right? You could have had J.J. McCarthy. And here we are. I'm talking about where Justin Jefferson lands as far as a dynasty pantheon. But hey, stay here. Stay here with the wide receiver position because there's more controversy brewing, Jay Rich, and it actually may not even be that controversial at this point in time. But when he's back, when the number 4 overall pick from last year, the generational one, Marvin Harrison Jr. is back, Jay Rich, do we have a problem?
Hello.
Does he have a Michael Wilson? Yeah, hello. Does he have a Michael Wilson problem? 2 weeks in a row, Michael Wilson has went out there, 10-plus receptions, back-to-back games. 100-plus yards, back-to-back games. 15-plus targets, back-to-back games. Just getting fed with that Brissett, throwing damn near another 50, throwing damn near 50 times again. Michael Wilson in this offense with Marvin Harrison Jr. is wide receiver what? Jay Rich?
Ooh. I mean, Michael Wilson, this offense is probably a top 16 wide receiver.
With Marv back.
That's the question, right? Is with Marv back, where does he fall? I mean, he's got to still get some opportunity. Now, again, we talked about it a bit before, and it's like, well, Marv was the 4th overall pick. But he's not playing at this level. He's not playing like he should even do anything but hold Michael Wilson's jockstrap on a weekly basis. Because that's how much better Michael Wilson's been than Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, that's just the truth. He's been significantly better. And so this is where I struggle with this Arizona team. At first, Kyler was the problem, right? And Jacoby Brissett came in, and it's like, well, the offense looks way better with Jacoby Brissett. We got to ride with Jacoby Brissett. But then Marv is out. And it's like, well, maybe, just maybe, Marv is a problem and Kyler is a problem. Which is what no one's really saying. Because Marv isn't good and Kyler hasn't been good. But everyone blames Kyler. Kyler's the reason this offense sucks. Kyler's the reason they can't win games. Kyler's the reason Marv's no good. But Michael Wilson has no problem getting open. Michael Wilson has no problem being targeted 15 times and going over 100 yards in multiple games. But they still have to justify that draft pick to the ownership group. They still have to justify paying Kyler Murray all of this money. So it's a big problem for Arizona because now you have a situation where, in reality, Michael Wilson should be the one. He should 100% be the one. But he's not going to be. And so until we kind of see what they decide to do, he's probably going to be a wide receiver 3. Like he probably is. And that's unfortunate because he does have talent. They almost won the game. It was one of our upsets that fell short in overtime, of course. But he probably should get opportunity. But I think that Marv's going to go back to being the one. And we're going to see what he does. But going into the offseason, if Michael Wilson's still, putting up 5 for 50, 6 for 50 in games, there should be a conversation. Absolutely.
Let me tell you what stuck out the most to me watching this game was the visible concern and panic when Jacoby Brissett looked like he was out. It was like, oh my God, please no.
We got
not Jacoby.
Keaton Slovis out there.
Right? Like to be at the journeyman quarterback that he is, and he gives his team a chance to win. He's going to get sacked. He can't move. He's not a fast mover right now. They do not have a rushing attack. It's rough out there. I know Bam Knight scored, but 10 carries, 12 yards, and he got injured at the end. Everyone knows what they're going to do. Arizona's going to chunk the ball 50 times, and you got to stop McBride, and you got to stop Michael Wilson, and they can't do it. They can't stop McBride. They can't stop Wilson. Arizona did lose this game, though. And if this wasn't this was peak Trevor Lawrence.
Classic
right?
T-Law.
Because on one side of the ball, Parker Washington, outstanding, 5 for 71, a touchdown. Jacoby Myers scored a touchdown, great. Travis Etienne, 3 for 30, a touchdown, great. 3 passing touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence. He also threw 3 interceptions and fumbled. A fumble return for a touchdown. I mean, inside the same game, he was both very good, and there was some throw. I mean, Brenton Strange. There was a throw to Brenton Strange. I was like, holy shit. I mean, that's the golden one right there. That's a number one overall pick throw.
Over corners and stuff.
And then he throws 3 more, and you're like, my God. Like, come on, dude. I mean, he was both great and awful in the same game, but shout out to Jacksonville. 7-4. We picked Arizona to win this game at home. Jacksonville on the road got it done. This was a big win for the Jags. That Basil Tootin,
not great.
Not great. Not great from that
We'll see
Tootin.
what happens going forward, but not good. Yeah, it was the ETN show big time in this one.
ETN looks pretty good. Jay Rich, any thoughts from the Jacksonville side of the ball?
No, I think this is what Trevor Lawrence is, right? We think he can be good at times, but he shows why he's probably not deserving of his contract. But yet, once again, the Jaguars continue to win. They up their chances at the playoffs more significantly. And I think the other side of it, Ray, and what's crazy, we haven't talked about this, is that now they're only 1 game behind the Colts, or maybe they're a game and a half behind the Colts now, because they're 7-4. Texans are 6-5. Colts are 8-3. This division is going to be very interesting because let me see what the Jaguars have, but they still play the Colts twice, and they may even play Houston as well. So the Jaguars have already played Houston twice, so they don't have to play them again. They do have to play Denver again, but the only 2 hard games for them really are these 2 Colts games. They got the Titans twice and the Jets once. So 2 Colts games, Broncos on the road in Denver. That'll be tough. And then 2 games against the Titans and 1 versus the Jets at home. So maybe the Jags could be the team that could take this division, but the AFC South is going to be very interesting down the stretch to see who ultimately wins this division. The Jags, for everything they're not, they looked good enough in this game against the
How bad does that trade just look every week that Gladstone made to go get Hunter when Mason Graham is playing like one of the better young?
Good, yeah.
He's played very well for the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland did a good job in the draft. They did a good job. They may not be doing a good job on the football field but I like the moves they made inside the draft. And then I saw somebody say in the chat, I think it's right here, Killer Cam Buckets. How do you guys not take into account how many times they've thrown the ball? Did you not hear the whole setup? Did I not say Jacoby Brissett's thrown the ball 50 times a game the last 2 games? Did I not say that? Did I not say they don't have a running game, so they have to throw the ball all over the field? Maybe I cut out.
They're leading
but
the
I'm pretty
NFL
sure
in
I said
pass
that.
attempts.
I'm pretty sure we acknowledge the fact that they throwing the ball every damn time they get out there, and they're top 5 in neutral pass rate because they can't run the ball. I'm pretty sure we've said that. Pretty sure we have. Jay Rich, we're not done with the high accolades, and we'll round it out with this one because Jahmyr Gibbs, dude. I mean,
baller.
Jonathan Taylor, what he's done this season, very deserving for.
You already dropping him off the top of the pantheon?
No, very deserving of all of the accolades that he's getting as the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. All I'm saying is when Zero touches the ball, like it just looks different. Jay Rich playing in the low top Jordan 12s. I mean, just swag on a million right here in the All Blacks with these nasty helmets. Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 carries, 219 yards. Jay Rich, second play in overtime, houses it. Got the defensive coordinator for the Giants fired after this game. Jay Rich got the DC fired. How special is Jahmyr Gibbs? How special of a running back is this young player who, when he hit the sideline on Javon Holland on the first one?
Oh, you knew. He's leaving.
I mean, he is out there. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you what it reminds me of, and I know you've never seen this, and probably 75% of the people listening to the show, watching the show, they haven't seen it either. But for those of y'all real diehard football fans, y'all are gonna remember them Helix High School films of Reggie Bush from high school. Helix High School, Reggie Bush. That's who. Reggie looked like he was in all Madden against kindergartners on that high school. That's how Jahmyr Gibbs looks in the NFL. J-Red, that's how fast and explosive he looks. Amon-Ra balled out this game. J-Mo, my guy. I pump him up on Yahoo after having 3 straight touchdowns. I'm like, J-Mo, mini breakout. Over. 0-0-0 for Jameson Williams. It just wasn't involved in the game plan at all. 0. Yeah. Shame on me for
1,000 total
Jameson.
yards in this game.
Shame, 1,000 yards and J-Mo gets 2 shames. 1,000 yards and he gets 0.
Shame.
I can't call it. Man.
Shame.
That, as Geno Smith says,
shame. That's
football, baby. that's just football, baby. But talk about Jahmyr Gibbs and his performance, Jay Rich.
Yeah, I mean, what he did, Ray, on 15 carries, 219 yards, 14.6 a carry, 2 touchdowns. Ray, you talk about high school Reggie Bush. It reminds me of if you could take Chris Johnson and Jamal Charles and make them one running back. That is Jahmyr Gibbs because he's got the breakaway speed. He's great in space. The agility is off the charts. You just know that the moment he has any space at all, he's gone. Because Penei Sewell put his hands up and Jahmyr Gibbs was 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. And just one-on-one with the safety, he put his hands up and he knew Jahmyr Gibbs was gone. And the game was basically over at that point. The Giants played phenomenal in this game behind Jameis Winston. I mean, the trick plays were flying. The game was electric. But ultimately, the Lions did get a big victory on the back of Jahmyr Gibbs. He's kind of the best running back in football. If they gave him 25 carries a game, what would the yardage be? And Ray, I got to ask you because I was looking at this, right? You said JT's Offensive Player of the Year. Do you think Jahmyr Gibbs could somehow, some way, work his way into the conversation? He is 65-1 right now. 65-1.
Oh, you think I'm making a bet?
But he's he's third in the NFL in rushing yards right now. We know he's going to have a ton of touchdowns. But the problem is Jaxon Smith-Njigba is also having a great season.
I know.
So JT's minus 140. JSN plus 110. Christian McCaffrey 25-1. Jahmyr Gibbs 65-1. I'm not saying he's going to go on a run. I'm not saying he's going to go crazy. But he's definitely capable of performances like this that say to you, how is he not the best offensive non-quarterback in the NFL? Because he plays like it. It's not as consistent as maybe some of these other guys. Jaxon Smith-Njigba obviously is incredible. JT, unbelievable. But in some ways, Jahmyr Gibbs is truly the best offensive weapon in football.
I wanted to make the case for it, Jay. I really, really do. I really want to be like best offensive running back. We can't forget Jonathan Taylor is number 1 in carries, number 1 in yards, number 1 in touchdowns. It's a good year. It's a good year to have this problem. I like where we are headed with the end of season accolades and the races and the awards. I think from MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, give some shout out. A lot of people had Aiden Hutchinson there. I'm like, off an injury.
I did. Yeah,
he'll be right there,
true.
but that go ahead and give it to Miles Garrett. Like Miles Garrett is winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Minus 800 to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Sean McVay's probably going to win Coach of the Year this year, or maybe
Excuse
Vrabel.
me.
Vrabel.
Excuse me. Come on,
Vrabel.
Ray.
I stopped it.
Now that Sykin lost, Vrabel's in the driver's seat, baby. Let's go.
I stopped myself, Mike Vrabel. But yeah, Gibbs is incredible, Jay Rich. We had to highlight that performance. I believe the highest scoring point total game this season and in a very long time, I believe. Gibbs.
Oh, you're saying fantasy points, yeah.
Like fantasy
55 PPR points
yeah.
And he had more than Allen when he scored 6 touchdowns the other day.
He's different, man.
He scored more points than Allen.
What did I try? I tried to tell y'all RB1 in 2023. I tried to tell y'all. Jay Rich.
Ridiculous.
Hit the music, man. That's the show.
Ridiculous.
That's the show.
Ridiculous. What a player. That's the show. Wake up with Ray and Jay every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We didn't talk about every single damn game. We'll do some of that on Wednesday. Quick hitters. There's Atlanta, how about those
New
Bears,
Orleans.
Ray?
That's the only game we didn't touch on. Atlanta, New Orleans. Kirk Cousins scored through 2 touchdowns. David Sills. Jay Rich, David Sills at one point in time was supposed to be
quarterback, wasn't he?
The next great quarterback. Lane Kiffin and them had offered him out of like 8th grade. Out of 8th grade, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Jay Rich, he was going to come into USC and be this all-world quarterback, and he ended up at West Virginia playing wide receiver. Now he's in the league. But neither here nor there.
Who was his quarterback at West Virginia? I was trying to think of who it was.
I don't know who the quarterback was, but he was a receiver out there at West Virginia. Neither here nor there. We appreciate y'all pulling up. We appreciate y'all tapping in the show. We will be here on Wednesday doing the show as we go into our Thanksgiving holiday. Hit the thumbs up button, like the content on this channel. Check out the Dynasty Takeaway show later today over on DDFFB. The Trinity Show, Scott and I will run that before the break. You got to trust it. Go to ddfantasyfootball.com. Anything you want to say to people before we get out of here, Jay?
No, everyone have a great Monday. Thank you for tapping in through a super long show, and hopefully we don't go quite as long on Wednesday, but we'll make sure to give you guys all the content you're looking for this week. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys
Cowboys,
on
Jay Rich?
Wednesday. How about those Cowboys, eh, Ray? How about those Cowboys?
Let's go, baby. We'll see y'all on Wednesday. We out. Peace.
Peace.